Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this out. Negative pi, 9 pi over 2 would be going in the negative direction. We have negative pi over 2 first, followed by negative 3 pi, then negative 5 pi over 2. And then after negative 5 pi over 2 is negative 7 pi over 2. And we're almost there. Negative 7 pi over 2 leads us to negative 9 pi over 2. And now you can see this is facing straight down. Since it is facing straight down, let's go ahead and draw it on the right side to make it clean. So this is going straight down, no x value, only a negative 1 for the y value. Let's go ahead and draw our fake triangle. Remember, we draw fake triangles here because we're missing a side for these triangles. So when I draw it out, this will be a 0, 1, 1 triangle. Since this is going straight down, the adjacent side would be 0. The x side would be 0 because there is no x value. But we do go 1 down, negative 1 down. Now to write out our sine stands for opposite over hypotenuse here. So looking at the triangle, I see that the opposite is negative 1 and the hypotenuse is 1. Perfect, negative 1 over 1. That is our sine for this triangle. For our cosine here is negative 7 pi over 2. So looking at the triangle, since we have all three sides, it should be pretty easy. Adjacent of the triangle would be 0, and the hypotenuse of the triangle would be 1. 0 over 1 is 0. Okay, let's take a look at our next problem, number 9. This is 7 pi, negative 7 pi. Let's go around in the negative direction. Not going up, actually going down. So negative 7 pi, so negative pi, then to negative 2 pi, then negative 3 pi, negative 4 pi, and then negative 5 pi, and then negative 6 pi, and then finally finishing at negative 7 pi. You can see this is going straight left, straight left. There is no height. Drawing in a clean slate over here, we're going to draw our triangle. So this triangle has a 0 side, 0, 1, 1 side, is 0 height. So that's why I put the 0 there. Remember, it's flat on the floor, so there is no height to it. And it's going to be negative because it went left. So the sign of this is opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite is 0, the hypotenuse is 1. So 0 over 1 is 0. The cosine here is going to be negative 7 pi, is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, which is negative 1 over 1. Now the problem itself is going to ask us to write all the other ones too. The secant, cosecant, cotangent. So just to remind you, when we see secant, secant is not sine, right? Secant is actually cosine. So that's going to be adjacent, hypotenuse over adjacent. One way for me to think of it is the cos don't go together, so it can't be cosine and cosecant, so it has to be the other one. Cosine is secant, and cosecant is sine. So you can't stick the cos together. So the hypotenuse is 1, and the adjacent is negative 1. That leads us to be negative 1. The cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite, which is hypotenuse of 1 and opposite of 0, which does not exist. We can't divide by 0 here. And then cotangent, the same thing. It's adjacent over opposite. That's negative 1 is my adjacent. My opposite is 0, and this also does not exist. So make sure you do study these triangles so you know when it doesn't exist, because when we divide by 0.